I'm going to tell you guys the story of the seasons changing, because this year it happened so fast. It feels like just moments ago it was the height of summer here in these mountains. Days filled with warmth and sunshine and rushing rivers. It was such a beautiful season here, full of so much life. But then things started to shift, and the water's colder now. Every day gets a little bit harder to swim. And the October full moon came and went. And that's when the fall storms came to this valley. The rain arrived, a relief after a long, dry summer of wildfires and smoke. And the rain brought fog that settled low across these mountains, softening everything. There's something about the quiet of early morning fog, the stillness of the lake, the smell of wet earth after rain. It's one of my favorite times of year. A time when it gets dark early and the nights stretch longer, giving us more space to slow down and reflect and sit with ourselves. The world gets quieter this time of year, and we start to hear our own thoughts a little more clearly. And we remember that we don't always need to be moving forward. Sometimes it's enough to just sit in the dark for a while and trust that light will come again. But like I said, this season felt short. Just this week, it feels like I had to say goodbye to fall as I watched the first winter storm arrive. Heavy winds, big flakes of snow falling silently on the ground. And as much as I love winter, I'm not sure I was ready to let go of fall so soon. But sometimes in life, you have to let go, even when you don't want to. The days have been cold and the nights have been freezing, which makes it very hard for me to get up in the mornings. So I'm laying in bed and it's like 7 a.m. Oh my gosh. But you have to hear about what happened last night. So last night I went hiking up in the mountains, and when I got to the top, there was literally an entire foot of snow. And it was a blizzard. It was crazy. I just did not expect that. But it was so much fun. Oh my gosh. And it's making me really excited for the winter. Oh, I've missed the snow so much. Anyways, I think I'm gonna have a fire this morning. Sounds really nice. Hi, baby. Yes, you're such a cutie. Hi, honey. You're so cute. Do you want to have a fire with me? So this past week, I've been quietly preparing, picking the last of the fall harvest and getting things ready before the snow really sets into these mountains. I know I've mentioned this before, but I've been a little nervous about spending this winter here alone. Nervous about what the season might bring. But I realized something the other day. There's really no point in sitting around feeling anxious, and the only way forward is to prepare and to take action. So this fall, that's what I've been doing. The past couple of weeks, I've been focusing on getting the garden ready for winter. In the past years, I've just let the garden kind of die and disappear under the snow. But I've learned that preparing the beds now makes spring gardening so much easier. I also planted my garlic, over 500 bulbs, which I'm hoping next season I will be able to sell some of what I grow.
Dang it.
And there's still some moments where I come across something hard and think, I can't do this. I'm not strong enough. I've been trying to rewrite that story in my head. The other day when I was chopping wood, that exact thing happened. The rounds were huge and I just didn't have the strength to split them. I even gave up for a couple of days and just kind of left the wood there. And I felt pretty low about myself. Like, maybe I can't really take care of myself out here. Maybe this is dumb and ignorant to think that I can. But then I stopped and I realized that's just a story I've been repeating, that I can't be alone, that I don't have the strength. And it's not truth. It's just a story. So I went back out there and I picked up the axe and I drove the wedge in and I split the wood. And it seems like maybe a small thing, but it reminded me that maybe I can do this. Maybe I am stronger than I think, and maybe I'll be okay.
Yeah! Yes! Stupid.
As we move into the colder months, it always feels harder to stay consistent with healthy habits. The days get shorter, it's dark when you wake up, and my motivation starts to fade a little bit. But I've learned that this is actually when consistency matters most. Taking care of our body, keeping movement a priority, even in small ways. That's why I've been using Trainwell, who's sponsoring today's video. When you sign up, you're matched with a real trainer who creates personalized workouts for your goals and your lifestyle. Living up here in the mountains, I don't have access to a gym, so having everything I need right here on my phone has been life-changing, honestly. And I just love how easy it is to use. You just open the app, follow your plan, and you know you're doing something good for yourself. I also love that Trainwell sends reminders about my workouts. It keeps me on track and helps me stay consistent, even on the days I don't feel like working out. I honestly love this app so much. I cannot recommend it enough. Just click the link in the description and you can get 14 days of free training on Trainwell. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about apple butter. You absolutely have to make it this season. Seriously, every night I have been chopping up a bunch of apples, tossing them into a pot with some spices and a little bit of brown sugar, and letting them cook down on low for about 10 hours. And what you end up with is the most rich, caramelized, cozy tasting thing I have ever had in my life. In the morning, I will mash it until it's smooth and then put it into jars and water bath can it for about 15 minutes. And okay, so here's why I'm talking about apple butter. The other day, I made an apple pie and I added some of that apple butter into the filling. And oh my goodness, it was the best pie I've ever made. I kind of want to do a full video just on pies and specifically pie crusts because I have been experimenting with a new technique and It's so good. Let me know if you guys want like a more in-depth cooking video. I feel like right now is the beginning of pie season, and honestly, I feel like it's the first year I'm somewhat proud of my pies. Also, oh my gosh, I almost forgot to tell you, I officially bought a commercial size bread oven. So I think this is going to be the beginning of my bakery story. And I am just so excited to tell you guys the story of the bakery in the future. For me, this season has been all about letting go. Letting go of what I don't need and the parts of myself I don't want to carry into this next season. Every morning I've been lighting fires, and something I love to do, especially around the full moon, is write down the things that I want to release. Then toss the paper into the flames. And there is something about watching it burn, turning into smoke that feels freeing. I don't know. It's a simple practice, but it's really powerful. So this is the first fire that I've had this season, and I cannot explain to you how good it feels to sit next to a warm fire on a cold fall morning. Oh my gosh. It's just like the greatest feeling of all time. I really believe that. So this morning I'm going to rip out all of the vegetation in my boxes and prepare these beds for winter. There's this kind of letting go that happens this time of year. And it's not just saying goodbye to summer, it's letting go of that easeful way of living, you know? Summer is just so simple. You know, you can just walk outside in a t-shirt and the sun is shining and everything's blooming in the garden and everything just feels so effortless. And then when the cold starts to settle in and everything starts to die, you kind of have to let go of that effortless way of living and move into this more harsh, dark winter of our life. And for me, that transition can just be kind of hard. Like, I always struggle this time of year just because the winter here is just so harsh and unforgiving, and yeah, I struggle with it. But I feel like that's just kind of life, you know? We get attached and then we have to have the strength to let go. And now I am saying goodbye to my beautiful garden. Anyways, you guys, thank you all so much for watching this video, and thank you so much to Trainwell for sponsoring this video. You can click the link in the description to take the quiz to find your perfect trainer and get 14 days of free training. I will see you all next week. Okay, bye-bye.